Well, at least we have basketball and hockey to look forward to.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit.
We'll get to that. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we are back live for another wonderful game review. Of course, we're going to talk about the collapse of the Raiders. Not Arizona. This time it's Jacksonville. And at least they shut up for 2 quarters this time instead of getting shut out by the Saints like they did the week before. How are you guys doing out there tonight? I see a few people coming on in. How you guys doing in YouTube? Got a lot of TikTokers out there. I want to say hello. I see you in there as well. Let me move this over. How you doing, Dominique? I see Dominique in here on the YouTube side. How you doing? We're going to talk about this game. We're going to give grades on the offense and defense and those 4 keys to the game. You know what's going to happen, so why not? Let's just get right to that without further ado. And of course, we're going to do our rundown as normal. First thing we do is check our champion count.
I hear everyone say it. Take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
And that's right. This channel and this program is not around except for you guys, both on TikTok and YouTube. Channel keeps growing. I got to thank each and every one of you. I see a bunch of you in here. And I know it's pretty hard, especially when the Raiders are 2-6. A lot of problems with the team, but we're going to go over it, and I'm going to give you my opinion on that and the grades. So let's get right to that.
The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
Now, as we normally do, we start on our defensive side of the ball, and I have 2 keys to the game, 2 on defense and then 2 on offense. Let's get to that first one. Of course, that was getting and slowing down Travis Etienne. I talked about him kind of going off ever since he's taken the mantle over James Robinson, averaging about 135 yards a game. I wanted to keep him under 100 rushing yards, no rushing touchdowns, and only 6 rushing first downs for this team. And what we actually got was 109 rushing, or that should be rushing yards, sorry about that, 2 rushing touchdowns and 10 rushing first downs. And it's not just Travis Etienne, but also Trevor Lawrence, over 50 yards rushing, pulling a Taysom Hill. Unbelievable with this guy. So I'm going to give this an F. Could not control it, especially once we got to about the second quarter on. It seemed like, I got to say it seemed like their team made the adjustments and our team did not. If you watch the game closely, we came out, started pretty well, 17-0 lead. And this is just one part of it, of course. Now, the other key to the game was getting this front 4 going. No sacks last week. I wanted to see at least 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. I wanted to keep them under 50% on third down conversions in this offense. What actually happened, we got no sacks again. We did get 4 quarterback hits and 60% third down conversions. I'm going to give this an F as well because I'm sick and tired of having 2 marquee players here on the edge and getting no sacks 2 weeks in a row. And I know Trevor Lawrence is a big kid. He can run the ball, but still no excuse for this. Chandler Jones, again, having some issues keeping the edge on the running game as well. And like I said before, Trevor Lawrence running at will, kind of reminded me of the Taysom Hill, but he's much bigger, of course. So, of course, as far as this defense goes, I got to give it an F. Now, they gave up 27 points, but this is to a Jacksonville team that only scored that many points one time this year. They gave up over 400 total yards, 403 to be exact, 9 of 15 on third down conversions. And the big one that really is a killer to me, this team right here, Jacksonville Jaguars, only punted once in the second half. Okay, they got 2 touchdowns. They got a field goal. They missed a field goal, and of course the kneel down. I'm not going to count that. So they only punted one time the whole second half. Ridiculous. So, and I got to attribute it ultimately to this guy right here, Patrick Graham. This is multiple weeks now where The defense is kind of getting owned. We're not getting the pass rush we need. And quite frankly, and I was worried about this before because we saw with Alvin Kamara, ETN in the flat, picking up passes. They did a little bit more of that than they normally do, Jacksonville, because we suck so bad at it and we're not fixing the problems that we have. It just seems like there's no adjustments. We see the same thing over and over and over again. Quarterback gets to sit back in that pocket all friggin' day. There were some hits this time. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Saints game, but still unacceptable. And you know, this guy was a mastermind. He did much better in the Giants. I don't know if this is a Paul Gunther situation. One of my commenters said that might be partly true because maybe it's a little too complex for the team to understand at this point. But it's bottom line, they're not getting the job done. 27 points against Jacksonville Jaguars, unacceptable.
I hear everyone say it. Take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
As far as the offensive side of the ball goes, we had to talk about the offensive line first and foremost because they were absolutely destroyed in the Saints game. And this is what I was looking for. I was looking for maximum 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. I wanted to see at least 50% on our side as far as third down conversions. And what we actually got was 2 sacks allowed, 3 quarterback hits, and only 25% on third down conversions. Now, I'm going to give this a D. Some people could probably argue an F, but it was better than it was during the Saints game, that's for sure. Not to say it was great. I think not only that, I think Carr scrambled out a little bit more than he did in the Saints game where he rolled up into a ball. There was more scrambling and not like scrambling out for yards, but lateral scrambling, trying to find people and throw the ball in the pocket. So I think that contributed to it. Still not a great grade, but I'm not going to give him an F for that. Now, the next one was Josh Jacobs, and I said we could take this team as far as receiving yards. They're just as bad as us, maybe even worse as far as giving up receiving yards to running backs. And I want to see at least 80 running back receiving yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. What we actually got was 28 running back receiving yards and 0 rushing touchdowns. I'm going to give this a D also. And I'm not going to blame Josh Jacobs for this. This is more the game plan. Josh McDaniels didn't really utilize that. I think that was a weakness that we could have exploited very easily, and it just did not happen in this game. So as far as the offense goes, I got to give it an F. Bottom line is you can't go scoreless in the second half. I mean, we had 321 total yards. Most of that was in the first half, of course. 16 first downs. That is unacceptable. To get only 16 first downs in a game. And of course, 25% on the third down conversions. That's disgusting. So I 3 of 12. So I don't know what's going on with this team. I know some people say get rid of Carr. Some people say fire McDaniels. But ultimately, it's this guy right here. He's not turning the ship around. I mean, are we really seeing improvement here? I'm not seeing it. I mean, you can have a bad game here and there. We've had numbers of bad games. We had the shutout. We had another, basically a choke job. We were up 17-0 and couldn't score in the second half. This reminds me a lot of the Arizona game again, where we're up 20-0 and we lose in overtime. So, it's. And a lot of people I've been seeing in chat and, you know, reading, I like to look at the interviews and watch their mannerisms, and it's kind of the same old. And to me, frankly, I don't think it's going to get fixed. I don't think it's going to improve. And you look in the chat, and a lot of people are saying we should have. Too bad we couldn't have kept Gruden. You know, John Gruden was the master of not making any adjustments, and I don't know why he is. Treated with such kid gloves. I mean, that team last year looked like crap before he got fired. People don't remember the Charger game where we sputtered because there was an outage and all of a sudden our team can't play but theirs can. What about the Bears game where we looked like absolute garbage? Nobody remembers that. Oh, John Gruden's so great. Rich Bisaccia got the team together. I'm not going to say he's a great offensive mind, but he's a good leader. And again, I have to put this on Tommy Boy, Mark Davis. Why didn't you keep this guy around? You could have gave him that special teams job, kicked him up a little bit extra money and said, as a thank you for helping to keep this team together, get us in the playoffs. But no, he couldn't do that. And, the bottom line is, until we get a competent owner, all the incompetency is going to flow down at some way in some shape or form. You see this with other teams. If they have a good ownership and a good management, things flow down well. And if they don't, it flows down like this. So as far as the prediction goes, of course, this is my prediction on Friday during the game preview. I always come back to look at it. Now, 31-24, I thought I gave Jacksonville too many points here, but they actually scored 27. That's absolutely ridiculous on the defense. That's why I give the defense an F. They probably should have had about 20 to 24 points. The Raiders scored 20 in the first half, so they should have very well gotten to this point or even more, maybe 34, 35 points for the game. So, again, if they would have played 4 quarters, I think this score would have been a lot more in line. But I want to know what you guys think. Of course, put your comments in the chat, and I also want to see your grades. Now, put them in TikTok. I can't do a poll in TikTok. They don't have that functionality. I have not seen it. If they do, let me know. I have not seen that, but I have put a poll in the YouTube. Grade this Raiders game, and they only give you 4 choices. I went C, D, D-, and F. So you can see that. Mostly Fs, of course. I give it an F overall, especially with the fact that we just kind of collapsed in the second half. You don't do that. I knew Jacksonville, I even said that in the halftime report, Jacksonville was going to be hanging around. They're going to play a lot harder in the second half. We needed to match that. We did not. And that comes back to the preparation and the coaching of this team. It just does. And where does that come from? That comes from Mark Davis. I hate to say this again. This isn't Al Davis. This isn't commitment to excellence. He's gone. He's long gone. Now, that started going away when he got too old to be a vital part of this franchise. Let's face it. And then when he passed and went to Tommy Boy, it's not changed. It's really not really changed. So, I mean, we've hit on a few picks, but overall, you can see the overall results with this organization over the past couple of decades. So, but I want to know what you have to say. I see Israel 2010 in here saying it's unfortunate that Carr, Renfro, even Adams regressed under this offense this year. This defense, unfortunately, has not done better compared to under Gus Bradley. And that's what I said. And I put a post out during the game in the third quarter. I said, Patrick Graham's making Gus Bradley look good at this point. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. To me, if I'm coaching a team and I see problems, I want to make changes. And if that means benching Carr for a week, then so be it. If that means putting Chandler Jones on the bench and not playing him a game and just putting Malcolm Kuntz out there first string or whatever, wake these people up. You can't do the same things every week and expect a different results. That's the definition of insanity. I understand, why aren't we getting any more players? We still have plenty of money under the cap. There's some veterans out there. Why not give a few million to Ndamukong Suh, bring him in, maybe get some interior pass rush on third down on long plays, passing downs. We're not doing anything. What did we do during the trading deadline? We did nothing. We didn't buy anybody. We didn't sell anybody. So it's like we're just going to stay in the doldrums. And, like I said before, it almost seems like the franchise, the ownership doesn't care. The organization doesn't care because people are going to pay a few $100s to sit down in the seats, pay $100 for parking, pay $20-$30 for a beer and a hot dog. So they're going to be making money. They don't really care. And if they don't, then the Denver Broncos will come in. The Denver Bronco fans will come in and have a weekend in Vegas and come here. Again, there's not a commitment to excellence. They need to take those signs down. They need to take them down. They're spitting in the face of Al Davis and what he's established with his franchise, quite frankly. And until they play up to that level, those signs, pride and poise, where's the pride? Where's the pride at? I don't see any pride out there. I don't see it, guys. And like I said, after last week, I said, we as Raider Nation needs to be smarter and just not go to the games, not give them any more money. You know, they're not providing an ample product on the field, and we as customers shouldn't buy it. That's the bottom line. What do you got to say in TikTok land? I see a few of you in here. Go ahead, sound off. What do you guys think? Let's see. Let's see this poll. Some people voted for C. Let's check this out. So I got at least some votes for C and D. I didn't vote in the poll, but I put F. I give it an F, obviously. So not as embarrassing as the Saints game, of course. I mean, we actually could score points. Not to say that that's something to, toot our horns about. It's ridiculous. I mean, again, we were leading this team. We were playing relatively well. Second half comes, get out coached. And I said last week, like the Houston game, we had a couple quarters. The Arizona game, we had a couple quarters. Baltimore, we had a couple quarters. Or not Baltimore, Tennessee rather. The back half trying to come back after we putzed around the first half. And New Orleans was 4 quarters of crap. This one was 2 quarters. We played decently. If you look at my halftime report, I gave the Raiders a B overall for the half. Second half didn't show up again. I don't know what to say, guys. I'll keep watching, but it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to go through this stuff and talk about this week after week. It's like, it's a shame. It's almost like we as the fans put more into this than they do. That's what it seems like, because every week they do the same crap and every week they get the same results, and the coaches on the other team know what they're going to do. And they adjust accordingly and shut everything down, and and they just have their thumbs up their butts or whatever. I don't know. So, hey, Quinn Lands 2011, how you doing? I see you out here. If you guys have any other thing to say, I'm probably going to cut this one a little short. I put a question answer there, to tank or not to tank. I know some of the fans of the channel have said we should be tanking the whole time. Personally, I do not believe in that philosophy. I am back old school like Al Davis. You just win. You don't tank. You do what you have to do to try to win a game. It doesn't mean you're going to win the game, but if you give full effort and lose, you got nothing to look back on, in my opinion. Case in point, like the KC game, I know the going for 2, I thought that was stupid by Josh McDaniels, but we were in that game the whole time. And we took it to them. We lost by 1 point. I mean, you don't want to lose, but I mean, compared to these games that we've seen, even the Houston game, we looked like crap until Josh Jacobs started running the ball. Let's be honest. So, and these past 2 games they're unbelievable. They're like a lottery team. They look like a lottery team out there. Why are we giving Devontae Adams $3 million? Why are we giving Chandler Jones, $12 million a year? For what? 12, 15 million a year? For what? I mean, why not go cheap all the way? Go like old school Oakland A's and pay nobody and let all your free agents go and put a substandard product out there, because people are just going to keep coming back to it. So, and YouTube is giving me problems again. What else is new? Look at this bullshit right here. Look at this. It's saying it's buffering. Are you guys in YouTube having any issues with the buffering? Let me know right now in the chat. I see a few of you in here. It's funny because TikTok never does this. Rare. Well, I'm not going to say never. I have a different channel too, doing some different content, but rarely does it. And I really haven't noticed it on this channel personally, but YouTube, it's almost like they're trying to do everything they can to keep this channel down. And I talked about that. I talked about in the off season, I'm going to be starting a second channel, doing Raider and football content. It's going to be a little different. I gotta do some things to get off the naughty list with YouTube, I guess. I don't know. So they can actually show my stuff, not only to people that aren't subscribed. They don't do that. But my actual subscribers hardly ever get notices anymore. So I have to do something about that. Yes, it's buffering on YouTube because YouTube sucks. That's the bottom line. So we'll probably end it right now. I was going to open the chat lines. Honestly, guys, I'm really not feeling it tonight. I'm kind of pissed off about this game. I'm kind of pissed off about the Raiders. They're tanking, but they're not tanking. It's like they're doing it on accident. I responded to one of my followers who made a comment about that. I don't see them. It doesn't look like they're tanking. It looks like they're just miscoached. Carr didn't hit some of the throws he should have hit. People aren't getting open. Devontae's not really getting open in these games. I know last week with the Saints, he was sick and all that, but I didn't see it that much. I mean that wide open when he got the touchdown, yeah, because they blew the assignment. Anybody could have caught that. So I'm not going to give Devontae credit for that. Like, oh, he made some great play. But it's just, it's sad. It's sad indeed. It's like Lucy in the football, Charlie Brown. If you know those Charlie Brown cartoons, it's like every year this team is like Lucy. They put the football out for us to kick as Raider Nation. Okay, this time we're going to get to kick the football, and right before they swipe it away, and we land on our butt. And that's just how it feels being a Raider fan at this point. It's unfortunate, especially like I said before, it's unfortunate for a lot of the new fans who have not seen this team the way it used to be. When they talk about there was actually a commitment to excellence here. And Al Davis, bless his soul, he didn't care where you came from. He didn't care what color you were. He didn't care what background you had, what school you came from. If you could play football, you could walk on this team and start and play in this game. As long as you played like hell, give everything you got. And we've gotten away from that. We don't have that. And if you weren't doing the job, Al Davis would get on the field and start bitching at the coaches, at the players. That's just the way it was, and that's how he was. And we don't have that anymore. We got a little Tommy Boy stooge in his little luxury box, eating cookies or whatever the heck he's doing in there. I had a little thumbnail last year in the Denver game. I don't know if he's eating pork and beans. I don't know what he was eating, but it looks stupid. A little Tommy Boy. No clue, no idea about football or anything else, Nothing. It definitely didn't rub off on him from Al, that's for sure. So, unfortunately, I would love for him to sell this team and, get somebody, even somebody who doesn't know football, like maybe like a Mark Cuban, but cares about their customers, aka their fans, cares about winning. I would love somebody like that. I know Magic Johnson's name's been moved around. I don't know how well that would help the Raiders, but who knows? The video is low quality for me. All right, I'm going to close this one out, guys. The video is low quality because YouTube sucks as usual. Thank you for not promoting my channel. Thank you, YouTube, for not letting my subscribers know, even though they hit the bell notification. It's basically useless because you're trash and you do not promote. You promote other channels, but you do not promote mine. On TikTok, my channel has been growing way faster, and I've had it way less time. I've had this channel for much longer, and I have to scrimp and scrape to try to get people to come onto the show. And it's not fair, and I'm going to have to do something about that, but it's going to be in the off season. Plus, the Raiders playing like garbage. Frankly, I'm just not in the mood right now. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do a game review next week. I know they played the Colts. The Colts fired Frank Reich, if you don't know, their head coach. Of course, we'll be saying hello to Gus Bradley. Is there going to be any pride to beat the old offensive coordinator, Derek Carr? Are you going to huddle up into a ball if Yannick Ngakoue gets near you or if Kwity Paye gets near you? That would be a question for me. Who knows? It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I said that in the halftime report as well. You don't know which Raider team you're getting. The first half, it looked like Dr. Jekyll, and then they turned it into Mr. Hyde, and game over. That's the way it was. So if you guys want fantasy content, I can do that as well. I have some personal things going on. I'll explain more about that in the coming months. But next month, I'm probably going to have to cut back on my live streams and at least a little bit. I'll explain more about that and then talk about the second channel, and I'll give links to it. But at this point, I do appreciate you guys coming out. I'm frustrated about YouTube, of course. It looks like it's working now. It says excellent connection now. Well, thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Now that I said I'm going to be cutting off the live stream, everybody's leaving. Now you're going to be okay with it. I appreciate that very, very much. So I do appreciate each and every one of you, my subscribers, the people who come watch this. A lot of regulars here. I do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, and I want to thank you for that coming out here. I'm frustrated with YouTube, of course, with the Raiders and their performance. This team's better. It's much better. It has the talent not to be playing like this. I'm not saying they should be friggin' 8-0 by now, but 2-6, it's unacceptable. Everybody knows it. And at what point do we no longer accept the commitment to mediocrity? And that's what it's not even mediocre. It's under 500. So I can't even say that anymore. So I will see you guys again. I'm not sure when. I will have to figure that out. And hopefully when I do, YouTube will be kind and promote my stuff for once. So thank you again, Israel. I see a few other people in TikTok. For those, of course, they're not going to come when you damage my connection, YouTube. I appreciate that. And don't promote it. So anyway, thank you guys. And as always, go Raiders.
With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.